Welcome back to Lift You Up Inspiring Health Stories. I'm your host, I'm Tamika Bickham. I'm the founder and chief storyteller of TB Media Group, but for the purpose of this podcast, I am your health and happiness matchmaker. Now, before I introduce you to today's guest, you know what I'm going to ask you to do? Hit subscribe on YouTube, connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to stay connected with you. Today, you are going to meet Nate Wilkins. He is the co-founder or co-creator of the Ageless Workout. He's talking all about working out, staying healthy in the 45 plus age range. Why? Because it was around that time that he ended up having heart attacks and he realized he needed to change his life. Now he's working to spread his message and change the life of others because it's never too late. Our physical, mental, and emotional health is not just a want, it is a need for happy lives and prosperous businesses. Lift You Up is the podcast where we share inspiring health stories from business owners who are fulfilling their purpose to live their healthiest lives and helping you do the same. From former TV reporter to marketing entrepreneur and content creator, I care about sharing stories that matter and stories that connect us. I'm your host, Tamika Bickham, your health and wellness matchmaker. Well, today I am so excited to meet for the first time and introduce all of you to Nathaniel or Nate Wilkins. I'm guessing I could call you either one. He says okay.
Right, you can call me either one.
If you are watching this and not listening to this, you'll see that he is calling us from a park in his true element. And Nate is the co-creator of the Ageless Workout. And I'm excited to meet you and learn more about you today, Nate. Welcome to the show.
Well, thanks so much. Hey, listen, I pulled off the highway because I was so excited about spending some time with you. I was over in a place called Fisher Island. You know, I was like, I got to go do this interview. So I pulled off the highway, came to my favorite park. It's called the Enchanted Forest. There are horses out here, there are trails, there's water. You know, outside is very important. And I hope we get a chance to talk about what people can do outside and the value of being outside.
Nate, we connected, several weeks ago on LinkedIn, and you are actually here in South Florida. I heard you just mention Fisher Island. So I want to learn a little bit more about you and your journey. I know you're the co-creator of the Ageless Workout, but that hasn't been your whole story. So tell me, I know health, fitness, wellness is a big part of who you are and your life. Has that always been the case? Tell us your journey.
Well, you know, so 27 years I spent as a parks recreation administrator all over the country. And one place I was at, Cincinnati, Ohio, living a life as superintendent of recreation for that city. Got some pains in my chest, had sense enough to know that I had to go to the doctor. I went to the emergency room. They kept me because I was having pains. They said it was like many heart attacks or what have you. There for weeks upon weeks at a time, you know, doing testing. Some of the staff members that I had came by with sad faces. They got the word that I wouldn't make it. So while I was there, I said to myself, if I get out of here, I'm going to change my life. I went to one doctor's appointment with a cardiologist. After that, I changed my life, everything, walking, talking, eating, stopped hanging out with all of these people that were doing the drinking and having the good times, eating the food. I used to laugh at myself, right? Because I used to say the clothes were getting too small, when in fact, it was too much of me being showing up. And so that's how I got involved with health, wellness, and healing. The walking, the eating different, the sleeping, all those kinds of things led to taking classes, led to teaching classes, led to being a spa director or a fitness director at a spa, led to this business, led me to this place where I'm out and about today. So that's the story in a sort of a nutshell.
So we have to go back just a bit there because you said it so casually. You were having mini heart attacks.
Yeah, you know, here's the deal. People don't change unless they have some stuff happen to them, right?
How long ago was this?
You probably before you were born. You look so young, you know.
Thank you. I will take that as a compliment.
I'm 66 years young. I'm going
there
back.
There you go.
But so I would contend it's about 15, 20 years ago when I was living in Cincinnati, Ohio.
And
Uh,
you're a young man at that point still.
well, here's the deal. We don't know what we don't know. So now we know more about the human body. The stress that I was under living in that city, trying to be what other people wanted me to be. It was the first. I was the first person to hold that position. I was trying to work with a city that was in chaos, coming up with programs and ideas and concepts and what have you. Eating with the wrong kinds of food, hanging out with people who wanted to have meetings at certain times of the day. All of these kinds of things contribute to the stress and and the ill living that one can have. And you think you're having a good time when in fact you're doing damage to your body. So that's what was happening with me. Maybe it was accumulating over the years and it just can't sort of came to a head at that time.
Right, absolutely. So that was really a turning point for you. Now, before you ended up in the hospital, you said for weeks, right?
Yes.
Before you ended up in the hospital for weeks, did you have any other issues prior to that? Were you concerned about your health at any point?
I, well, we're always concerned about our health, but we are. Some of us think that we think that we're invincible, right? So it wasn't that I was having, those pains all the time. It sort of came up on me, and because I was so aware, through the information that we were getting, that I went to get it checked out. I mean, I was still doing other things, right? Going out and occasionally playing racquetball, going out occasionally doing some exercise on a bicycle, but nothing to the degree of what I'm doing right now.
Right, right. So, how did you feel when you were in the hospital 4 weeks when you said some of the nurses were giving you sad faces, not even sure that you were going to make it? What was going through your mind at that time?
You know, like anybody else, examining, how much time did I actually have left, and and what would be my plans if I got a chance to get back out of there. Start trying to call on the sources and forces that are greater than me. It's searching my soul and trying to figure out, well, what did I do? How did I get to this place? Why did I get to this place? All those kinds of things sort of play heavy in your mind when you're there lying in a bed with tubes on inside of you, all over you, and people are coming to check you out to see if you're okay. And incidentally, I was in ICU as a matter of fact.
Wow. 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 And well, I'm so glad that you came out of that and I'm sure you were like, I have this second chance. Now I'm going to do something with it that I know I should have done probably sometime before now. So walk me through what that was like in the days and weeks and months after you got out of the hospital.
So, like I shared with you, I went to one appointment with a cardiologist. After that, I went into this place that I became my own healthcare advocate. I became my own healthcare investigator, and I began to look for ways that I could fix myself, not through medication, because medication actually treats symptoms, right? It doesn't go to the root of the problem. And so I started to look at new ways that I could change. And so the diet was a part of it. The exercise was a part of the sleeping, the association with the right kinds of people. And I'm going to say that again, the association with the right kinds of people. So I started to find me a new group of people who were doing things the way that I wanted to do them, the people who were exercising, who were looking at what they were putting into their mouths, drinking the proper amount of water, getting the proper amount of sleep. And so I started to change all of that about me. And so that's sort of the stuff that gave me this new revelation about I could, and this is what I want to share with people, that at that point, I could turn my life around, that all of what I was doing before was then, and the new Nate Wilkins, the new Nathaniel Wilkins was that day.
Absolutely. I love that. So can you elaborate a little bit more as far as what did you change in your diet? How were you eating before, and what did you change after
hmm
this?
hmm So I'm African American, right? That I know people can tell that, but what I'm saying to you is that the fried foods, not so much of the fried foods, and I love fried foods.
That's
My,
soul
my, you know,
food.
I can tell you that if I go to the store right now, and if I walk down the aisle where there are potato chips and Oreos, they call my name, and so
Nate, this way. Come this way.
yeah,
Pick me, pick me.
yeah. And so I have to get away from Oreos and potato chips. And I guess what I'm saying is don't watch me so closely because I'm still in that situation where I haven't worked away from that. The wine, the beer, these things actually have sugar in them, right? But for me, it was hanging out with my friends. What's wrong with a cold beer? And then what's wrong with another cold beer? So drinking a cold beer, having some wine, and then while you're there, why don't you get some nachos and some cheese, and why don't you get some wings, right? And so all of these things just sort of add into to the lifestyle. And so I had to cut back on those things. I had to get rid of some of that stuff, and then I had to get some different kind of sleep. You know,
Because you weren't really sleeping?
not the way that that's important, right? So go to sleep with the television on as opposed to turning off the television and
Oh,
getting turning and getting the light out of the room, making
you're
sure the
talking
room
to
is calm,
me
right?
directly, I think, on that one, because that is my bad habit.
Yeah. So all of those things, and I would quickly say that it doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. And the other thing that happens is that I actually go back to some of those bad habits from time to time. And so then I have to be more mindful and aware of what I'm doing, get myself back on track. But I can't beat myself up. I just have to say, that was then, this is now. So keep moving, Nate, move forward. So each
Right.
day I'm trying to move forward and try to live the life that I say I want to live.
Right. Because so many times we can be like, well, shoot, I messed that up. I guess, that's it. But you can still keep, even if you have slip ups on things, you can still keep improving little by little, one step at a time, day by day.
Yeah. Don't let one day turn into a bad week. Don't let a bad week turn
Right.
into a bad month, right? So, fail fast, fix it, and move on. And that's the key to getting into a better position for your life.
I'm
In
writing that
anything, really.
down. I'm writing that down. Fail fast, fix it, and move on.
Right.
Where did the ageless workout come in?
Yeah. So the Ageless Workout is a combination of my partner Shiba Kafania and I. So we're both second career. We're both over 60. She's 64. I'm 66 years young. At this point, when you get to this part in your life, you have issues, whether it be blood pressure, whether it be cholesterol, or any of the kinds of things that you go through because you can't get out of life without having something, right? Some people are more blessed than others, but a lot of us are going to go through things. So we decided, look, we're going to deal with these issues. You got to go to the doctor, but you can't leave your life and your health up to a doctor alone. You have to decide that you're going to take charge of that. So it was this mindset that we want to be ageless. We don't want to continue to look like we're old. I mean, you can't help aging, but you don't have to get old. You don't have to roll your shoulders over. So it was this idea of standing up tall. It was this idea of tapping into a source that would allow you to live a better quality of life. It's this thing of experiencing things that you thought you needed to experience right there, dealing with your life. So she had hip replacement, did prehab, rehab, worked on some other parts of her body, back out. And so she was able to share that with other people. Me, going through mental health fatigue, military, losing jobs, bankruptcy, dealing with people who I thought were my friends and not my friends, dealing with death in my family. I hope I'm reaching out to somebody. I think, hope that right now what I'm saying gets to somebody and they can relate to where I am. And so all of these things combined said to us that, what we need to do is come up with an idea. And there was this young man that I was working with that was, taking photos. And he said, why don't you do Ageless? And so Ageless was taken, but he said, now, why don't you do Ageless Workout? Because you guys do workout. And so that's where the Ageless Workout was born, with all of those things into consideration. That's a long way around, but that's it right there.
And so at the Ageless Workout, so what is the business and how do you serve people?
Our niche market are those who are what we call active aging adults, somewhere between 45 all the way up to 70, 80, or 90 years old. But in that, and we think it's 3 out of 10 people, in that is those people who've decided that they're going to take their life back, who are going to live life on their own terms, right? Who are going to be independent, who want to travel, right? But travel the way that they want to travel, be able to lift their bags up because they've done the proper amount of exercise, not so stiff, right? That really they can have a certain quality of life that allows them to spend time with their grandchildren if they want to, spend time with the people in their life that they want to. And there's a certain amount of things that you have to do to acquire that, right? So you have to have this right amount of cardiovascular exercise. You have to have strength because your muscles need to be strong. But then you also have to have a certain amount of balance. And so you have to have the ability to move from side to side, to move forward. So, putting all of these pieces together, along with the thought process that it's my life and I'm going to live it the way that I want to live it. So these things make up the Ageless Workout, the Ageless Workout mindset. And all of those people that we've been able to tap into, or the people we continue to tap into, and hopefully some of the people are listening to me right now, they're a part of this Ageless Workout tribe. If you are familiar with the blue zones, right, where people live to be 100 years or older, that they're eating a certain way, that they're associating with people in a certain way, they have a tribe of people, that they are connected to something, they have a passion about life like never before, that they're going somewhere, that they live their life for a purpose, that really that they get activities, that they move in certain ways, right? That you don't have to eat everything that's on your plate. That sometimes maybe what you might want to do is eat less food, right? You feel better when you eat less food, right? All of these kinds of things are the contributing factors to living the ageless workout lifestyle, the ageless mindset, right? All of these things give you the vitality that you need to be the kind of person that you want to be. Man, I said a mouthful. I hope that you got all of that.
I did, and it makes so much sense because just like you had been in that position, you were eating certain things, not sleeping the right way, not associating with certain people, and not doing the right type of exercise. That may be fine in your 20s and 30s. I say fine, but not really, because at some point that catches up with you. So what you're really doing is focusing on those that are in that 45, like you said, to even up to 90, who, hey, I still have a lot of life to live. I want to be active. I want to be healthy and happy because there's so much yet for me to do, explore, and enjoy. But in order to do that, you have to have your health, which is so much of what we talk about on this show. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And you're really allowing people to take their power back.
Say that again, please. Say that again.
If you don't have your health, what do you have?
Hey,
nothing.
You know what? You know what? We spend time with some of the most wealthiest people on the planet over here at Fisher Island, and they can buy anything they want to buy. Tremendous yachts, tremendous homes all over the world. I mean, the one thing they can't buy, and they realize it at some point, is they can't buy health.
You said it.
Yeah, and so they'll spend enormous amount of money trying to get their health back. When if they would do some of the things that we're talking about, right? Backing off the alcohol, backing off the, so much food, hanging out with people at, late hours, getting the proper amount of rest. These things can help turn your health around, and you can have a little bit more longevity, getting out for a walk into nature. Research and statistics will tell you when you do these kinds of things, you can add some days and hours and years to your life if you just change some of what you're doing.
For those that maybe have some health issues and who really know that they haven't done the right things up until this point, but they're not sure that they have the time, they're not sure that they can break those bad habits or make the change, what would be your message to them?
Well,
And where
see,
do they start?
First of all, that's why we talk about this mindset. First of all, you got to have some attitude or some your in your mind that you can change some of that. And so some people will say, "Well, I just don't. I can't exercise." Yes, you can. Can't you lift your feet up? If you can't lift your feet up, why can't you get somebody to do it for you? If you can't move your arms, can't you get somebody to move your arms for you? I mean, until you can do those kinds of things. So it's the little things. It's moving a little bit until you can move a lot. For some people, it's getting out of the bed. Put the shoes next to the bed. Put the clothes on the bed. And when you wake up, do something about that. Even if you just move a little bit each day,
Right.
you're still doing some things. And the other thing is, don't just wait and see what's going to happen. I'm saying that many times we don't go to the doctor because we don't want to know what's going on. I think we need to at least get it checked out. And for men, for sure, we need to get men's stuff checked out. Men have this idea that we're macho. A lot of men are macho, right? I'm not talking about just some men. I'm talking about when you think about men, we think that we're tough and we don't have to go to the doctor. And by the time, as an example, by the time we get our prostates checked out, it may be too late. So we need to get those things. We need to be more preventative is what I'm saying. Even if you think you can't, why don't you change the way you think and do a little bit for yourself today? If nothing else, but opening your fingers.
Right.
Some people have plants, right? They could go out and do some watering of plants. Just the bending over. Your quadriceps don't care whether you're going to the gym or not. They just want you to move.
Right. I like the point that you made. It all starts here with your mind.
Sure.
So if if you don't believe you can do something, then you can't. If you do believe you can do something, you probably can.
Yeah, man, you're a philosopher.
Well, thank you. So the other part of that question is those who are under 45 in their 20s, 30s, early 40s then, who this is not even on their radar. Because I made a switch with my diet and went plant-based 2 years ago. And I'm not always perfect, I will say, for sure. But eating that way is very important to me and my health, and I feel the difference. Now, when I tell this to my friends who are my age or younger, or, they say, oh, well, I don't need to worry about that. This is how I want to eat, or I want to eat ham and cheese sandwiches every day, or whatever or dessert every day. I mean, whatever those things are, because we're not feeling it now, they're not concerned with the bad diet. So or the lack of exercise. I will say, I think our generation does tend to get pretty active, but specifically from the eating side of things and drinking and all of that, there are definitely bad habits, certainly in the age group before people are starting to see any of those health effects. What would be your message to that group?
Well, let me just tell you that we're preparing the next generation as we speak. I have a group of young ladies who see me as early as 5 a.m. in the morning. That's our 5 a.m. club. And we go out walking. If they got a dog, they take the dog for a walk. But in that, it's them actually looking at their life and saying, I need to be healthier. So maybe they have, maybe they're not eating as well as they would like to eat. And so through the association, and again, you know that association brings about a simulation, right? So they're associating with us, and some of that stuff is actually rubbing off on them, and they're learning how to change habits in terms of eating or sleeping and what have you. It's not just the people who are 40, 50, 60, 80, 90 years old who are in the ageless workout. It's a mindset. Again, it's how do you view yourself, the way you see your view of the world or your world view. And so if you feel like you want to live a different way, you can't live over here, treating your body any kind of way, eating the kind of food that is not good for you all the time. I'm not saying people have to just go vegan, right? Or, plant-based all the time. Maybe you just change up. Maybe you add some green into your diet more than what you've been adding green before, right? Maybe you cut down on the amount of animal protein that you've had in your diet. Maybe you walk a little bit more. All these things can
Just little baby
contribute
steps.
to a better life, huh?
Just little baby steps.
Yeah, that's how we all make it, right? One little step at a time, inch by inch.
So I always like to ask for health tips. I know in general, a lot of people are having a hard time as of quarantine, COVID, at home, not comfortable necessarily going to the gym. We saw the alcohol sales go way up. We're all kind of mentally going through it. It's difficult to be more active. We're just not moving around in general as much. Is there a health tip that you would recommend that you feel like is top of the list, most important that people can implement in their lives right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the things that I think we ought to do is take a look at what's in our environment, right? That's holding us back. Whether it's the types of food that we purchase or that's in the house, because if it's there, you're going to eat it, or somebody in the house is going to eat it. So what can we do to sort of eliminate what is a challenge for us? The other thing is to make sure you get yourself checked out, especially right now, that going to your doctor to see where you are in terms of your health issues. That may be one of the best things that you could do, given COVID-19. And if you're living in a house with people, right, and they're going out and interacting with somebody, they may bring that back into you. So constantly get yourself checked out. There are several things. Get some sunlight. Get outside. There's a certain amount of things in the environment that can help you heal your body. Not to mention that sunlight is related to taking in vitamin D, and if you don't get vitamin D from the sun, then maybe you need to take some supplements and what have you. So don't be afraid to get out and get some fresh air. And if it's cold outside where you are, maybe what you want to do is just open up the blinds and just let the light come in. These kinds of things can contribute to a better living process, not so much depression. I know in some parts of the country, it's doom and gloom, right? It's gray, not like here in sunny South Florida, not like here in sunny South Florida. We have the
where
sun.
We're complaining about 60 something degrees right now.
Yeah, I put my jacket on this morning because I was cold.
I know.
And I'm not trying to rub it in, but what I'm saying is that we all need to do something in terms of getting at least a minimum amount of exercise. So here's the last thing that I will say about that. Movement is medicine. Exercise is medicine. So even if you just have to just get up from where you are, get somebody to move you, or not so much flipping the channels. Maybe you have to get up and change the channels or something like that. That would be the things, or some of the things that I would share in terms of tips.
Absolutely. I love that. So Nate, tell everyone how they can find you, learn more about the Ageless Workout, connect with you, and how they can work with you.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram, the Ageless Workout. I'm on Facebook, Nathaniel Oliver Wilkins, or the Ageless Workout. There's a page, Ageless Workout. The website is www.agelessworkout.com. I got a new book that's coming out called "If You See a Turtle on a Stump, Somebody Put Him There." How to be that's subtitled "How to Be an Adaptive Navigator." I'm talking about how do you make it in the event of COVID-19, right? How do you make it where life changes and you're not ready to change? Don't sit there, make a move. And then I got my other books on Amazon, The Now Factors for Success, Beyond the Now Factors for Success, and Success Factors Now. And when I do these podcasts, I'm just trying to share some information. I want to touch somebody's life in a special way because somebody did that for me. I hope it's been fruitful for you, and I hope it's fruitful for everybody that's listening, that they got just one thing out of today's conversation.
Absolutely. I get something out of every conversation I have. I really appreciate your time and everything that you've shared because there's always an important message there. I mean, our health is our wealth. Like we said, we have nothing if we don't have that. The people that you meet who live on Fisher Island who can buy yachts and fancy things, what they can't do is buy good health. So take care of it while you have it. I love that message. And that's what I took away from today. So it's always a good reminder to have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. I'll make sure to link to your social media, the Ageless Workout, and your books below in the show notes so everybody can learn more, read more, get some more of those golden nuggets, and connect with you online. I really appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Nate. You know what I'm taking away from that episode is fail fast, fix it, and move on. It's true. We're all going to fail. Might as well fail fast. So make sure you connect with Nate. All of his information is below in the show notes. Learn more about him, the Ageless Workout, and find even his books. Those are linked below too. And I want you to stay connected with me. I'm all the places, but if you want more of this podcast, you've got to go on over to YouTube, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, connect with me on LinkedIn, all the places. And I know I'll see you back next week. So until then, stay happy, stay healthy.